I don't have anything in particular to say about the status of Jump right now, but I will say that at the time of this recording, I believe, well, at the time we're releasing this, I believe that the third chapter of Takuan and Batsu's Daily Demon Diary will have ran in Viz's Digital Shonen Jump as per their Jumpstart initiative. So I don't know, like, well, what did you think of this, Sid? What did you think of the first chapter?
The first chapter alone, or the first two chapters? Since at the time we're recording this, both are out.
Well, I'm asking about the first chapter because honestly, I read the first chapter, and I guess I should kind of explain what it's about. So, from what I remember, essentially the series is about this guy named, nicknamed Takuan because there's some kind of Japanese wordplay there that I don't remember about, like.
No, he's like, it's like some kind of food, I think. Like, he said that he likes eating it a lot, and so people nicknamed him Takuan.
I think they're like pickled radishes or something.
Yeah, something like that. And so he says like something like corny that, like, I don't know, eating Takuan, like, is better than something, and then
because his whole thing is like, oh, I don't really want anything exciting to happen. I kind of just like my boring life, and I kind of like it the way it is. Which, I mean, I can kind of relate to that. I like things boring because I'm a super boring guy. But this guy like really goes out of his way to make sure nothing exciting happens, except he just kind of happens to run into the daughter of King Enma, who in Japanese mythology is basically, I'm not really sure how you describe it. This particular figure has been in a lot of different, like, Japanese anime and manga, such as, like, Dragon Ball and Yu Yu Hakusho. He's essentially, the guy at the gates of hell who decides whether you go to hell or heaven. And that's kind of his role in things. Again, super big figure in Japanese mythology. And the other character, Batsu, just happens to be the daughter of said King Enma. And I forget what her reason for coming to the human world was.
Her father was murdered, and so she goes to the human world to search for her father's murder as well as just maintain order.
Okay, yeah, that's right. So that's essentially the premise. I don't know, but by the end of the first chapter, like, I didn't think it was, like, bad, but, like, I didn't really want to read anymore. 'Cause, like, I feel like some of the this isn't the only reason why it turned me off, but I feel like some of the fan service was a little unneeded. Except I did like the joke where Takuan, like, I think Batsu, like, she appears out of nowhere and, like, lands on Takuan's shoulders and is just kind of riding on him for a little while, and he tries to get her off, but, like, somehow he, like, lunges her off his shoulders and has her head bump into his crotch. And then, like, because essentially, I think Batsu's whole thing is she sort of believes in eye for an eye because she, like you said, she wants to maintain order. So she's like, oh, I bumped into your crotch, now you must bump into mine.
To quote her exactly, for every crime, a punishment. For every crotch, a crotch.
I don't know. I kind of like that part of her character because that did lead to some funny gags, but other than that, I don't know. And then we get, like, some reveals here and there later that, like, I didn't really care about personally, and by the end of it, it didn't really want me leaving more. Like, I don't really know how to explain it. That's why I wanted to ask you what you thought of first, because I knew I was going to be kind of negative.
Yeah, on the subject of the fan service, it's strange to me, because it's, in some respect, it seems to want to, like, have these fan servicey moments, but at the same time, it doesn't want to go all the way with them. It's very strange, because, you never actually see, like, a panty shot or anything that's drawn necessarily that explicitly.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the mangaka, like, aims like the camera, so to speak, in a way that you're like seeing. You see panels with her, like you see like up like her butt or like just always. There's a lot of shots like from her back or from below her. And, like, a lot of focus on her legs in particular. So it's weird. I feel like the mangaka, like, really likes drawing, like, this character's legs.
Yeah.
And, like, she likes drawing her from, like, downwards angles. Or just any angles that show off her legs. So a lot of, like, panels that show her, like, in full body, like, focus on that. And it's very strange to me because compared to other series, it's not the most, like, egregious fan service at all, but
yeah, it's
just so, because it's rare that I see, like, such explicit, like, focus on, like, a particular element, a particular, like, fetishization. So that was very strange to me. That was something that distracted me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then, aside for the story itself, yeah, the premise is not the most but didn't like really hook me in a sense. Like, I don't really. It didn't. By the end of the first chapter, I didn't really care that Batsu was looking for her father together, or like, I wasn't really engaged in that overarching, like, story that it was setting up.
Yeah, me neither.
I sort of found it interesting in regards to Takuan, how he's trying to not draw undue attention to himself because he wants, like, just an ordinary life because he is hiding inside of him, like, his own, like, sins and, like malice and grudges and whatever that he just doesn't want to bring out of himself, and that manifests itself in, like, his, like, Oni demon transformation thing.
Yeah.
So, like, there was an idea in there that was interesting, but, like, the second chapter didn't really follow up on it at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what its ultimate focus is going to be, because it seems like it's a battle manga premise, or at least like a slice of life battle manga-ish premise. But then the focus primarily seems to be more on comedy. So I'm not really sure what to really make of it.
To me, the series feels like it's trying to combine elements from series like Yu Yu Hakusho, Supernatural Detective Nero, and Twin Star Exorcist, to me.
But the series that reminds me most of is Muyo and Roji. And that's, a lot of it is because of the art style. Actually, the art style reminds me a lot of Muyo and Roji's. Especially the way characters and their eyes are drawn. And especially the climax of the first chapter is very similar to the climax of Muyo and Roji. What with this, the first chapter of Muyo and Roji, with this, like, character falling into this, like, gaping mouth of this, demon creature. So, like, there's a lot of similarities to Muyo and Roji, and I looked up the mangaka, but I couldn't really find anything about it.
That's because it's because the author, Kentaro Itani, this is his first series.
Yes, but I was trying to see if he had maybe been an assistant to the mangaka of Muyo and Roji, because I felt like the style was very similar, and I wouldn't have been surprised if he was the assistant. So that was it's like the stylistic similarities to Muyo and Roji was very interesting to me. But compared to Muyo and Roji's first chapter, I didn't like it as much. And yeah, I don't know. What I'll say is, I don't think that the series, I don't know if this series really is going to fill, like, a certain niche that will make it really thrive and jump, because the supernatural kind of detective shtick is being done by Salmon. And then the fan service kind of shtick is being done by Yuna of Yuragi Mirror. So right now the series hasn't really shown me anything that's going to really set it apart and I can see that what readers would really be intrigued by it. But the art style is unique, even though it's very similar to Yu Yu and Roji's. That style is unique. I've only ever seen it in Muyo Noji. So the art style is something it has going for it. And then another thing it has going for it is like the potential of Takuan as a character in that he's hiding this, he's trying to suppress this demon inside him while living an ordinary life. So there's potential in that, but whether the series maximizes that and really explores that in a like meaningful capacity remains to be seen, because the second chapter basically focuses on pretty lowbrow, predictable jokes and fan service as humor. So yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. Like assuming that this lasts more than like 20 to 30 weeks in Jump, I don't think. I don't know. Like maybe at some point I'd pick it up again, but like this isn't the kind of thing I'd be willing to read weekly. I mean, I don't know. I thought it was just kind of okay. Like it wasn't outright terrible to me.
Yeah, it's not offensive to me, but it's not really engaging either. It doesn't feel like something that I can see really evolving into something like
I thought this was going to be like a gag manga by the look of it, honestly.
I could have seen it going either way. Just based on like that first like teaser cover image that we had seen from it, if just showing me that, I wouldn't have been able to say definitively whether I would have called it a gag manga or an action manga. I think even now it can still go either way. Right now it seems to want to be more of a gag manga, but the way it's designed, it could easily become an action manga. Yeah. So, well, I guess we'll see if the series picks up an audience, how it ultimately evolves. But I think that right now Jump is so competitive and so filled up with like unique series that are all competing for space that I don't know if it's really going to leave a strong enough impression for it to stick around.